When did the cat lady actually turn out crazy? The morning my wife Mallory delivered our daughter Samantha, there was only silence. I watched my wife hold our stillborn baby for 4 hours, humming lullabies to a child who'd never hear them. When the nurses finally convinced her to let go, Mallory looked at me with empty eyes and said she was so cold. The doctor explained that complications meant we'd never have another. For weeks, Mallory didn't leave Samantha's nursery. Then one morning, I found her cradling newborn kittens she'd found under our porch. "They need a mother," she whispered, and for the first time since the hospital, she smiled. Things started looking up since then. The kittens kept us busy and brought back love into the house. Mallory would wake every 2 hours for feedings, humming the same lullabies we'd practiced for Samantha. "You're a natural," I said, admiring how she glowed while caring for the adorable little beasts. Before I knew it, Mallory was bringing home more cats from the shelter, even taking in ones with missing limbs and imperfections. The vet called her a saint. Soon word spread. People left kittens on our porch like some kind of shrine. Mallory never said no. I'd come home to find her surrounded by these tiny creatures, calling herself Mama as she fed them. She used the baby monitor and transformed the yellow nursery into a kitten room. The house was chaotic, but her smile made the mess worth it. I started feeling uncomfortable when Mallory gave the cats variations of our deceased daughter's name: Sam, Sammy, Samantha Marie. She created birth certificates with our last name for every cat. She tried to enroll them in the local daycare, arguing they needed socialization with other children. I felt relieved when the daycare turned her away, but instead of understanding, she stood outside pickup times, shouting like a madman, telling parents they were supporting discrimination. The saddest moment for me was when our friends began avoiding us, admitting she was whispering to that orange cat for 20 minutes at dinner, then meowing when it meowed back. "You need to throw those cats out." At first, I thought they were exaggerating until one night, I found scratch marks and bites on her chest where she'd tried breastfeeding the cats. "Mallory, this is nuts. Our house is a mess, and you're scaring all our friends away." "Honey, they're just cats, not kids," she hissed at me, her face wrinkling into a disgusted expression. "There are children, and if you want to get rid of them, you'll have to get rid of me first." She marched out of our bedroom and moved all her things into the nursery, sleeping on the floor surrounded by the children. I laid awake that night wondering when I'd started losing her. My gut twisted the first time Mallory called our neighbor's 5-year-old daughter Samantha instead of Bailey when she came to pet the cats. While she didn't seem to mind, it worried me. Bailey giggled when Mallory called her Samantha, but I felt sick. My deepest fears came to life when one afternoon, I dozed off on the couch while Bailey played upstairs with Mallory and the cats. I woke to a sound that made my blood freeze. Not Bailey's usual giggles or even her whines when a cat scratched her, but pure terror. Every parental instinct in my body fired at once. I ran upstairs and pushed open the nursery door. The afternoon sun lit up the room, highlighting a scene straight from my nightmares. I stared in disbelief as Mallory pinned Bailey on the changing table with her own shirt pulled up. She forced Bailey's head against her chest, trying to make her nurse while cats crawled over both of them. When Mallory noticed me, she cackled. "Our kids are growing so fast." When I jumped to protect Bailey, Mallory went feral. She slashed at me with a metal feeding syringe, catching my cheek and drawing blood. I jumped forward and wrestled her onto the bed, trying to keep her from reaching Bailey again. As I held her down, a burning smell filled the room, like melted plastic and burnt skin. I turned and saw the hot glue gun on the table, still plugged in and dripping. Then I looked at Bailey and understood where the smell was coming from. Bailey sobbed while picking at the gray and orange fur that had been hot glued to her body. Blood soaked through the fur. When Mallory caught me staring, she grinned. "She's both my Samantha and my kitten. She's perfect, just needs more fur." I shook Mallory angrily, tears from my eyes dropping onto her face. "She's 5. My voice broke while I begged her to come to her senses. "Our child is gone and nothing can replace her. You need to stop it, Mallory, please." Just then, the front door slammed. "Bailey, time to come home." Her footsteps pounded up the stairs. She appeared in the doorway and her face went from confusion to absolute horror. I screamed at her to call 911 while I held Mallory down. She pulled out her phone, calling while removing Bailey from the room. The police arrived quickly and carried Mallory out in restraints while she screamed, "Don't touch my children! Give me my Samantha!" Mallory got locked away in a remote facility far from home. I paid for Bailey's burn treatment and skin grafts where the fur had been glued and put all the cats up for adoption. I put the house up for sale to move away from everything. Until then, I've spent weekends checking on my wife. Last visit, she asked, "Are you feeding the children?" "Oh, you'll never believe who I found here. Samantha, and she's all grown up. I can't wait to bring her home to us."